Do you think we maybe do need to be more productive as society?
Those particular comments, first of all, I don't know the exact context they were set in, but in terms of productivity, of course we do want to see productivity rise in this country. It's been a long-running problem under successive governments. When you look at productivity levels, they are generally lower in the UK, but that is nothing to do with the effort and how hard workers work in the UK. From running the health service, I can tell you, for example, those doctors and nurses couldn't work any harder. What it has everything to do with is making sure those workers are supported, not just by their businesses, but very importantly by government in terms of the capital investment, whether that's infrastructure, things like broadband, for example, and by skills investment in the right places, not just a level of investment, but making sure it's happening in the right places. And that's what I think Liz is certainly focusing on when she thinks about our long-term economic plans. It's not just about the tax cuts, which are hugely important. I think she's absolutely right on that point about kickstarting growth with tax cuts, but it's also about making those decisions around investment and the vital supply-side reforms.
How ready is she? Look, we've just had these latest figures on inflation, over 10%. We've been hearing countless stories of people who are taking extraordinary measures to be able to just get by and pay things like their energy bills, their supermarket shopping. When it comes to the 5th of September, if Liz Truss is Prime Minister, what's she going to do immediately to help those people?
Look, I think, again, if you listen to the inflation number today, of course, there'll be many families that when they hear that will be even more worried than they are. And everyone understands that. That's why it's important for government to do what it can. Now, no government can mitigate sort of every consequence of high inflation. This is also a global problem. We know that the major causes have been the pandemic and then, of course, the war in Europe. And there's not a single economy in the world that's not facing a similar challenge. But as you say, your question is, if Liz is Prime Minister, what can she do? And she recognises that it's going to require some immediate short-term action. And that is why she has said, as well as some of the policies she's already announced about letting people keep more of their own money with the tax cuts, which, of course, helps at a time like this especially. It's also about the longer-term changes. And that's why she's going to have an emergency budget within weeks of taking office that will set out those plans once she's got all the information and data in front of her. And that shows just how much of a priority this is for her.